This is why I don't do ponytails. This. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So a few weeks ago I asked for video ideas, requests, recommendations, and I got one about mental health, and I thought since we're in our third lockdown now, I should probably do one because I mean it's self-explanatory, isn't it? So where do I start? There's so much to cover. I don't face extreme mental health issues, which I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to be able to say. So these tips that I'm going to recommend are what I would think would help and what helps me, but it's just tips, it's just advice. It's not, I'm not like a, oh yeah, I'm a psychologist or a therapist or anybody that is qualified to give actual help and stuff. These are just tips and stuff that I think you can do on your own to maybe lessen the effects of some things that you might be experiencing. I don't know if I explained that very well. I have done a ponytail for the first time in a video, possibly ever, I don't know. I don't wear my hair up much and it's just really stressing me out. So I made some notes a few weeks ago and I don't understand what I mean by my first bullet point. It says, test yourself driving. Driving what? This is going to be my interpretation of my first bullet point because I'm not quite sure what it means, but I think it's something to do with when I was learning how to drive. I had to stop obviously because of lockdown, but when I was learning, oh my god, stress and anxiety were the best two words I could use to describe it. I have been so looking forward to driving since God knows when. I have dreams about it. I want to do it so badly, but it is stressful and I would get so much anxiety before I have to go and drive. So I would just sort of push through it. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but when it came to driving, I just didn't give myself an option to not do it, because every week I knew that it would get easier. Even if I had like bad sessions or bad experiences, they would just be blips. And I knew if I kept on going, it would just get easier and easier and easier. So I just had to push myself and test myself. I really don't understand this first bullet point, but that's what I'm making of it. So push yourself, because things usually get easier with time. And the more that you test yourself and you push yourself, yeah, the hopefully easier things will become, the easier it will be to live with certain things. I'm sorry, we're not really off to a strong start, but I do have better tips, I promise. So my second point, I don't know if it's a really good coping mechanism or a really bad one, but one way that I deal with my anxiety is by distracting myself. So I'm always trying to do something, because I know if I sit still alone with my thoughts, we're not going anywhere great. I usually have a sense of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna start getting anxious in a sec. So I can sort of like quickly go do something, or just like stop those thoughts, be like, nope, I'm gonna do something that requires me to think about something else, and like block it from coming through. So I don't really deal with it a lot of the time. I sort of just distract myself and push it away, and that usually helps a lot. I haven't felt any long-term negative consequences to that. So, and I know it's a lot easier said than done because we are in lockdown, there isn't a ton to do, but literally just do anything. If you're sitting on your bed on your phone or something and you're like, okay, I'm feeling really awful right now, whatever it is, I can feel it coming, I've got to go do something, you know, tip your pen pot on the floor and pick up your pens. Literally anything, do anything that is somewhat of a distraction. That actually is a good idea to do the pen pot thing, because if you tip it, it's quite startling. It can help you like try and snap yourself out of it a bit. I know a lot of this is easier said than done, and I know it's not going to work for everybody, but these are just some things you can try, and hopefully in trying you'll find something that does work for you. The biggest tip I can give is the one that I hate the most, because adults and my parents tell me all the time and I hate when they are correct, but limit your screen time. And parents, if you're watching this, don't tell your child to limit their screen time, because it's just going to make them want to sit on their phones and laptops and tablets and iPads and the TV even more. You have to let them figure this out themselves. How I figured it out was as you know, my reading journey, I was reading a lot during the first lockdown in summer, then I stopped once I got back to college, and then I restarted in like December. And it took me by myself to realise how much of a detrimental impact being on my phone was having, especially before I was going to bed, because now like I absolutely cannot stand going on my phone before I go to bed. I usually am like, oh, on the weekend, like I'll get to watch TikToks until I fall asleep, how fun and exciting, but it's really not. It hurts my eyes, I don't fall asleep quickly, I struggle to wake up, and it's just a lot of negative emotions. So things like Netflix and Pinterest, I really don't see a problem with that, because the bad emotions usually come from seeing other people you know online, like Instagram, even like TikTok. Oh my god, I love TikTok. I will defend TikTok until I die, but it is so bad when you're already feeling bad. Unless it's like TikTok is very chancy. You can either stumble across some really funny stuff and then you're like, oh, I feel better, or you can see something and you're just immediately like, ugh. So, too chancy. Avoid TikTok, avoid Instagram, avoid YouTube, avoid Twitter. Oh my god, avoid Twitter at all costs. I would say Facebook, but no one really uses Facebook anymore. But things like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, like Pinterest, even though Pinterest sometimes can be a little, but apps where you're like not comparing yourself to other people and seeing what other people are doing constantly, that's fine. But there are so many other things you can do, like doing a puzzle, getting a mind game book and doing it, reading a book, making a mess in your room and tidying it up. And for a lot of people, you don't have to make the mess in your room because it's already there. So just tidy it up. You could organize something. Oh my god, organizing things is so therapeutic to me. Even the tiniest things like organizing one folder and just the pages in that one folder, because it can be kind of overwhelming to do more. But even things like that, just do it. Kind of links into the point before. It's find something to do, but don't let it be a screen, please, because it really doesn't help. Stay away from those screens, kids. A big thing that I found that I had to overcome was reducing my self-pressure, putting pressure on myself to feel good or to not feel certain emotions and to not get anxious, and to like, I had a whole list of things of like, don't do this and you have to do this or something, and the self-pressure was so huge, and it only grows bigger in lockdown because it's just you and maybe a few other people that you live with. There's not really any other people to put that pressure on you as much. It's pretty much just yourself. And so reduce that pressure to feel a certain way and just be okay with the emotions that you're feeling. Try and divert them if you can, but don't put the pressure on yourself, because that's when you give something attention, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And by trying to not give it attention, you're giving it attention, if that makes sense. By saying, I'm not going to focus on X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z are now up there in your thoughts and in your brain, and they're like, did you call us? We're here. Yeah, reducing your self-pressure. Also in lockdown, it is so important to talk to your friends and family. It's not easy always to talk to your family, and I know that it's so hard for a lot of people, obviously, but talking to your friends, I mean, that's one time that I will say go on your phone, because messaging them, calling them, video calling on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever it is you use, keeping in touch with people from the outside world and from outside of your personal world is so important to remind you of maybe how insignificant your problems are and how, you know, you've been making them this huge thing in your brain, but really they're not that big of an issue, and you can be like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't that bad. I can move on from that. I don't have to keep stressing, I don't have to keep overthinking it. I can carry on. Also, it gives you a distraction, you know, find out what's going on in everyone else's life. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I put a bit of blue eyeshadow under my eyes today. And I'm going to proceed to take it off right after I make this video. I'm sorry, this video is sort of all over the place today. I swear it's the ponytail that's just throwing me off. And this is probably my biggest tip, is remember that you're not alone in this at all. It's every single person, even if they didn't struggle with mental health issues before lockdown, probably do now. Like, everybody's dealing with something on some sort of level, so you are 100% not alone. I can guarantee you that. I'm here to talk if you ever need somebody to chat to. I'm not doing anything else. But yeah, that's a big thing that I think a lot of people struggle with, is because you're not seeing people every single day, it feels like you're just on your own in whatever you're feeling, but it's really honestly the opposite. Everybody is feeling some type of way, and tons of people are feeling the exact same way that you are. It's just you don't see them because nobody really talks about this stuff like openly, because, you know, you don't really see people's sad sides to their life or their difficult sides to their life all the time. So it is hard to remember, but I'm here to remind you that you are definitely 100% not alone in what you're feeling. Okay, my ponytail is like falling out now, so I think it's time to end the video. I'm sorry if my points are kind of all over the place. I planned this video weeks ago and I'm only just coming back to it now, so I'm sorry about that, but I really do believe in everything I said, and I hope I explained everything as clearly as I can. If you do have any questions or you want more help or somebody to talk to, my Instagram is in the description. You can DM me. My website is down there. You can message me through that. Tons of ways. You can comment here. That's super easy. You can do that. But yeah, there's tons of ways that you can reach out to me. I hope that whatever you guys are feeling and whatever you're going through, I hope that it gets better. And I know, like I said a billion times, everything is easier said than done, but it's about trying that matters, because if you try, at least you know you've done something and you've tried something, and that in itself can give you tons and tons of positive feelings and emotions, which will hopefully counteract the negative ones you're feeling. But anyway, I'm going to keep on rambling and I'll probably talk about my ponytail again, so I'm going to end the video now. Like I said, I hope this is useful to you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.